Today is day 23 of the government shutdown. It comes after the Senate failed to advance the House-passed funding bill for the 12th time yesterday. It's now the second longest federal funding lapse ever, which means the two longest shutdowns have both happened while President Trump was in office. Republicans are expected to bring the funding bill up for another vote as soon as today. They're also expected to force a vote today on Republican Senator Ron Johnson's bill that would pay some federal workers as well as active duty military members. Few senators believe the measure will pass, but Republicans hope it exposes the cracks in the Democratic opposition. Anything to try to shake loose the stalemate, which at this point I don't see happening. I want to bring in now Democratic Congressman Suhas Subramaniam of Virginia. He's a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, what have you been hearing from your constituents? Because the House has been out for almost a month, which means that you've had more time to do constituent services, which, based on our conversation before the break, is time you need because people need the help.
Yeah, I'm shocked by the lack of a sense of urgency by Republicans right now. I know I see it in my constituents. They tell me every day, they are sick of the blame game. Most of them blame Republicans because, last time we had a shutdown this long was Donald Trump was the president. And the reality is he kind of likes the shutdown. He wants the shutdown. And but they, a lot of our federal contractors who don't get any back pay, right? And then federal civil servants who are furloughed right now, military as well. And we're starting to see food pantries now get requests from federal workers and contractors. One food pantry in my community had a 5,000% increase in new families requesting food assistance. And so this is dire for a lot of people in our community. A lot of people in our community.
And then, of course, the Agriculture Department put out last week that SNAP benefits, that Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, might lapse by early November. That would only add to the strain on food banks and other entities.
Absolutely. A couple of key dates coming up tomorrow. People are going to go the first day without a full paycheck. Yeah. And then next week, food assistance and SNAP, that's also going to lapse. And then you're going to start to see people get health care premium notices, right? And having to re-enroll into the ACA for next year. And so a lot of people are going to start to see the real impacts. And that's why I don't understand why we aren't in Capitol Hill right now trying to negotiate this thing and end the shutdown.
Do you really think that being here would make a difference, though, right? Because A, it's a Senate story, but B, you've also got senators saying, I think the House has to come back and pass something that's a longer funding extension because we're going to end up not buying ourselves the time that we think we get from this. Do you think being here actually would help shake anything loose?
I think so. I think doing things in person, face to face, is so much better. And when you look eye to eye with another legislator, when we're trying to actually negotiate this in good faith, right? If you're, back in your home district and, you're only talking to voters who agree with you, which is what Republicans are doing. They're not having town halls, right, where people are actually being able to share their feedback. I think you end up in a situation where you get dug in, and that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, constituents in Virginia are not just grappling with the impact of this shutdown. You've got a lot of federal workers in your district. I went to your district in March or April to track the impact of the DOGE cuts at that point. Federal workers have really been through it, feeling the strain so far this year. But the other thing that they get the opportunity to do that other states don't is they get to vote and voice their concern or not at the ballot box come November. Can you talk about the way that this shutdown is impacting the Virginia governor's race?
Well, if you talk to Terry McAuliffe, he still thinks he lost to Glenn Youngkin in 2021 because of the threat of a shutdown even affecting his race, where Democrats were in charge of Congress back then. And so the whole shutdown during the election, if we go for another month, I had one former legislator tell me that this might go until next January potentially. And so you're going to start to see a lot of Virginians, Democrats and Republicans, get fed up. And again, the Republicans are just trying to hold their base together by saying it's all Democrats' fault. I don't know if that's going to resonate as well in Virginia, where they were already shutting down the government and firing federal workers all year.
What's the thing that keeps you up at night when you think about the governor's race right now?
Right now, what keeps me up at night is making sure we get our constituents what they need. This race, though, I sleep really well at night because I know Abigail Spanberger is a great candidate. And I think even down ballot candidates are seeing that the impact of having her at the top of the ticket is huge. And when people talk about who's the future of the Democratic Party, I think of her and Mikey Sherrill, because the reality is, they really get those Republicans who are fed up with Donald Trump to actually come back to the Democratic Party. And so I'm sleeping well at night right now.
I think think they do cast interesting profiles as someone who's covered them since they came to Washington, riding in on that 2018 blue wave, bringing with them the national security credentials from their time in service in various capacities. And then, of course, seeing the way that that manifested in Congress. It sort of, as someone who studies female leadership, also kind of expands the paradigm of what's possible. So I'm interested in this race for a lot of reasons, but we're going to see it tested at the ballot box in just shy of 2 weeks. That date is coming and coming fast. Democratic Congressman Suhas Subramaniam of Virginia, thank you for taking us around the horn on all of it. You know, though, we do Why Wakes at this time in the show, so we did ask the viewers, why are they awake this morning? Brandy sends along this photo and writes, we're up too early because our cat Luna decided she wanted to run on her cat wheel.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm not a morning runner, but people like that.
I need a cat wheel, too.
Okay, when we come to your office, that's going to be an interesting addition. Remy emails, I'm awake because my fiance and I are pulling an all-nighter before our flight to Italy, where we're getting married.
Aww.
Can we beat the jet lag? I think the excitement is going to carry you through on that
absolutely.
one. That sounds amazing. Congratulations. And Kim sends along this picture and says, this one decided she needed a potty break. Well, poor thing. I mean,
I know.
She needs what she needs. I did put a request up today for pet pictures.
Okay.
People really came
Looks
through.
like they listened, yeah.
I love it when that happens. Yeah, we need more pet pictures.
Right.
Congressman, thank you. It was good to see you.